What's up, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. I go by the name Big Junior. This is my first YouTube video. Today, I'm recording from my new podcast microphone, my ZTT20, and of course, my LED lights, and then my camera, which is my iPhone 16 Pro Max. So, yeah, this is my new microphone, ZTT20. You can check it out on Instagram, Kitty Cat. So, once again, welcome to my YouTube channel, and this is my first YouTube video. I'll be talking more about some social activities, life itself, and I'll be here more often trying to figure out things like everyone else. Like I said, this is my first YouTube video, and it's gonna be a little bit cringe. So just bear with me. It can only get better. Talking about getting better, that leads me to talk about growth itself. People talk about it in a way that it's kind of aesthetically pleasing to people. When you talk about growth, they'll just be like, work on yourself, be smart, and then just grow. It's not something we really emphasize on whenever we talk about growth, because growth requires a lot of sacrifices. It requires a lot from you. The first thing I'm going to talk about is self-awareness. Self-awareness really matters when we talk about growth, because I feel like if you don't know who you are as a person, you can't really grow. You need to figure out yourself, who you really are, what you want to do, who you want to become. If you don't know what you want to do, eventually you'll be open to anything that comes your way, because you don't know who you are. You need to know who you are, be more aware of yourself, know of your what you like, what you don't like, your personal habits. You have to be self-aware. I feel like if you want to grow, consistency beats motivation. There's no amount of motivation you can motivate yourself. You need to be consistent to actually beat that motivation. If there's something that you want to do, you need to be consistent. You have to keep showing up every day, even though you don't feel like showing up. Another thing there is discomfort. You don't have to be too comfortable. I feel like you don't have to be too comfortable if you need to grow. Discomfort is a sign of growth. That's just the honest truth. No, I mean, you don't have to be totally comfortable if you want to grow. I'm not a philosopher. I just feel like if you want to grow in life, you don't have to be too comfortable. I mean, you have to engage on activities that don't, like, comfortability is not a sign of growth. You need a little bit discomfort, because you wake up every day, you scroll through your socials, you go on TikTok, you go on Instagram, you go on Twitter, you watch reels, send reels to your friend, you're just having fun, you be on your bed. When you're too relaxed, you procrastinate things. Something you want to do, you keep on procrastinating it. You're too comfortable in your space. I mean, I'm not trying to motivate you guys, but this is something I feel like every individual who wants to grow needs to put into consideration. Like myself, I'm trying to grow. Like I said, this is my first YouTube video, and I'm just trying to put something out there that is actually reasonable, which actually relates to my life. Everybody needs to grow, yeah. So, I mean, another thing I think about growth is that you must outgrow the old version of yourself. Yeah, you need to leave some habits behind. Who you used to be, you just need to let it be. You have to leave some things behind. Leave your former self. Let it be. You need to be a new leaf. You have to outgrow some old version of yourself to just. I think that's another thing that contributes to growth. If you want to grow, you have to outgrow. Another thing there is comparison. Comparison is like a silent killer. You don't compare yourself to people, especially when they don't share the same motive with you. The person you're comparing yourself to, you don't know what's behind his own success. Like, you have your own shits to get together. You can't compare yourself to anybody. So comparison is actually bad. That's another thing I feel like it kills growth. It really kills growth. Compare yourself to others. And another thing is discipline. I think discipline is the paramount part of growth. You need to be disciplined. Discipline is a path to freedom. If whatever you want to do in your life, you need to put some discipline. Even though you don't want to do it, you have to do it. Discipline is another thing that contributes to growth. It makes you decide what you actually accept, what you allow within your space with passion. So discipline is another thing that actually contributes to growth. In the process of trying to grow, one thing I think we should also expect and accept is failure. I feel like failure is something that I mean, if you don't fail, you're not really growing. If you don't fail, I mean, there are people who don't even try at all. There are people who don't even try to do anything. They are just there. They are scared of failing. But when you try and you keep failing, I feel like that's a sign that you're actually doing something. So failure is like a feedback of growth. When you fail, you learn from what you try to do and you fail. I mean, me personally, I fail every day. I think I've done a few things. I've tried businesses. I fail at a lot of things. I mean, there was a time I used to have a clothing store. I closed it down. I have a physical store because I failed. I failed at a lot of things, which is normal because it makes you figure out yourself. It makes you realize that, man, is this what you actually want to do? Is this who you actually are? So failure it's like a feedback result to know what you're doing wrong in order to re-strategize. Your environment also contributes to your growth. So yeah, that's just another major angle of growth. Then another thing there is patience. Yes, in fact, this is one of the major part of growth. You need to be patient. Like you just have to be patient. Some things are not just a quick achievement. You start something today, before you know tomorrow you want to start being like other people's own, or you have an idol, someone you want to be patient. Patience is another thing, is another paramount part of growth. It's another paramount aspect of growth. You need patience if you want to grow in life. You will definitely get there. We will definitely get there because I'm also trying to grow. We are all trying to grow. Patience is power. You need to be patient. No matter what, you have to be patient. Even though when you fail, you have to be patient enough to re-strategize and start again. When you're not patient, sometimes you just give up, or you just feel like it's not working out. Nah, you just have to be patient. Growth is personal. Growth is a personal something. It's within yourself. You best know to yourself what you want to do, who you want to become. So it's a personal achievement. I think growth is something that starts within you, within your mindset. Growth starts from the mind. You have to grow your mind. You have to start growing within yourself. I feel like growth is personal. And one last thing is procrastination. Procrastination is a major thing that kills growth. Like people procrastinate a lot. If there's something that you want to do, I mean, just do it. Like I got this motivation from Wizkid. If there's something that you feel like doing, just do it. Don't procrastinate. The moment you start procrastinating, you start losing hope in what you want to do. You start losing focus. Before I make this video, I procrastinated a lot. I was thinking of starting a solo podcast like this. Like what I'm doing now is a solo podcast. So I've been thinking of starting this since like 2 years ago. I'm not gonna lie. But I keep on procrastinating. I feel like it's cringe. But I mean, everything looks cringe from the beginning before it starts making sense. Even though you have all the gears, the capabilities, you have to start from somewhere. If you're gonna start from the top, trying to look perfect, you might eventually fail. You fail woefully because you need to start from the scratch. You need to start from the scratch and understand the basics of what you're doing. That's the best way to grow. You get so yeah. Here I am today, making my first YouTube video. So yeah, stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll be here more often, figuring things out like every other people. As time goes on, I would like to invite some guests. I'll get a second mic, perhaps 3 or 4, as much as I can get. I invite a guest to my podcast. But I'm starting right now as solo. This is a solo podcast. I'm starting right now as a solo podcaster. Do like my video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and stay tuned.